Hi, welcome back. Now then, I'm looking for, I'm not quite sure how to build this kit. I bought this kit a while ago. Well, I'll say I bought it a while ago, it's only a few months, but it's sat on my shelf waiting for me to be kind of inspired to do it. It's not that I don't like the kit, because the kit's kind of a little bit overwhelming, if you like it. There's lots to it. It's a sort of model where you look at all the sprues, and believe me, there are a lot of sprues in there. So as soon as you start it, you're kind of committed to kind of, I don't know how to describe that. It's such a nice thing, you don't want to spoil it. I think that might be a way of describing it. I don't know. But I've always liked the Mosquito. Everybody likes a Mosquito. I don't know anybody that dislikes a Mosquito. I've actually seen one up close. I was very lucky when I worked at, I didn't work there, I worked as a contractor at British Aerospace at Chester. Quite a few years ago. I used to go there every day from commuting there. It took 70 miles every day there and back every day for 6 months. And I was lucky to be shown around the hangar where they kept this thing. They had some full-time British Aerospace staff maintaining this aircraft. So they let me go in and have a look, and I got inside. I didn't get in the cockpit. I poked my head inside the cockpit, and it had all the actors' names written inside the bomb bay from when they filmed the 633 Squadron. I think it did, if I recall. But it was a lovely thing. It was beautiful, and I think it used to fly quite regularly over Chester. And the year after, it was lost in a crash at an air show and killed both occupants. And that's one thing about the Mosquito that was quite, apparently they were quite vulnerable to, they're not the sort of aeroplane you could really throw about like an aerobatic aircraft. They were terrible for losing an engine. When I say losing it, I don't mean falling off, I mean just cutting out, and if that ever happens with a Mosquito, it's finished. It just doesn't fly very well. And that seems to be what happened, it just fell out of the sky. Anyway, I like the Mosquito, and they had one at a local museum. When I used to take my son when he was little to Elvington Aircraft Museum, and there was a Mosquito in there that was in like loads of pieces, and it was in the right state. It didn't look like a Mosquito, it just looked like a lot of wood bits everywhere and engines and stuff. And throughout the time it went on and on and on, and eventually they did build it to a flying condition. Not flying, but it was on its wheels, and it had engines run and everything. And I think they just by the time they finished doing that, they then shipped it to another museum, and it's not there anymore, which is really sad, because I would have liked to be able to go see it some more by building this. But anyway, what I want to do with this kit, I don't know. There's more than one way of approaching this model. A lot of people, when they build them, they weather them, don't they? They'll build them as a wartime aircraft, and they'll weather them and stuff. They're a strange plane to weather though, because they're not, with them being made of wood, there aren't any panel lines on the wings at all. Well, there are very few. There aren't any panel lines on the fuselage. So you'll get people doing the standard thing where they do a base and then they'll do some pre-shaded and stuff and like that. I don't care what you say, they don't look like that. Mosquitoes don't look like that. The paint was just pretty uniformly painted on there, and it just looks pretty flat and boring and dull. It doesn't look particularly exciting. In fact, you get a book with this kit and it shows wartime aircraft. And yes, there's dirt on them, but they're not a mottled sort of weathered aircraft, I don't think. They're, I don't know, they just look grubby, and I think grubby's not how I want to portray this aeroplane. I don't think. I want it to, and this is a restored one. I don't know if it's been restored or if it's actually been built, because you can actually build new ones of these if you've got lots of money. And this is an immaculate one, which is examples that Tamiya have taken, and I kind of want to do it like this, where the top colour scheme is identical to the bottom one, and it just looks beautiful, and everything about it looks beautiful. And I'm thinking of doing this Mosquito like this, with all engines. It comes with clear engine covers on this, and I don't like them. I don't think I'll be bothering with those. They'll just get painted, and I'll probably have one engine exposed and one covered up. But you can, as the magnetic covers, so you can take them on and off anyway, so it's not a big deal. So I don't know about that one, but I want everything about it to be as clean and nice and tidy as possible, just to show what a Mosquito looks like when it's at its very best, if you like. So that's my plan, unless anybody thinks anything different. Now, I have seen a few Mosquitos done where they'll do half of it as if it's been not painted, if you like, and then you use whatever method you choose to expose the wings in plywood, because that's what they are. They're made out of plywood and balsa wood structures inside and stuff. Obviously the engine construction is all metal, which I could do, so I could foil that area, I suppose. And then you have half of it exposed as a wooden thing, showing it off as a wooden structure, and then you have the other half painted. I quite like that idea as well, but I've never done that, and I'd have to work out how to simulate wood. You can get decals to do it. So that's kind of the route I'm going to go down. I'm not going to put the pilots in for obvious reasons, because they're wartime pilots and they wouldn't suit the build I'm doing, if you like. I don't know if the aircraft in here, so I've just looked at this. It shows this stuff. That's probably not standard to that wouldn't have been like an original Mosquito. The belts probably look similar, but they're probably different, because that's not a wartime aircraft, is it? They look very similar, but I don't know. So that's my thoughts, that's my ramblings, I suppose. This is the way this channel's going. Now, if you watch the video I've just put out recently, this channel is basically just a way of me recording how I build models and how I learn from my own exploits doing it, the adventurous side of the model making, I suppose. And I like to just record how I do it, and that's what this is all about, really. So to do this model, it's going to have to be done in multiple parts, because it's such a complex model. I'm not going to do it in one video, so it'd just be ridiculous. It's pointless. So when I do this model, I will do it slowly. I don't think I'm going to do it very quickly at all, but I want to make sure I do it properly, to the standard I want it to be, if you like. And in between that, I will then fit in other models as well, but not as complex as this one. Out of all the models I've ever built, I think this is probably going to be the most time-consuming one that I've ever done. I've spent a lot of time on the Spitfires. If you look at the 24 scale FX Spitfires, I spent quite a lot of time building one of those and foiling it and stuff. But I think this will be will overshadow that as a complicated build. One thing I'm not going to do, if I can resist, is buy aftermarket parts for this, because you can get plenty of aftermarket parts for it. I will make my own parts for it if I can scratch build things. I'm quite happy to do that and modify the things that are already there, but I'm not buying anybody else's stuff for it whatsoever. I might buy some one-man army stencils for the little markings you get all over it. I might get some of those. In fact, I will get some of those, and I might paint the decals on. But other than that, I don't buy anybody's stuff to go with it, because it's just I don't think it needs it. Half the time, I don't know what other people think about this, but aftermarket's there and it's like it dangles on a carrot and it says, "Look at me, buy me." It's more trinkets. But I've done a few things now where I've bought aftermarket, and I don't think it makes any difference. So anyway, so this one, that's not going to get any aftermarket, and I will do my best to make it look as best I can with what it is. I think kits are made them, you make a good kit or a bad kit just by how you build it, and it's how it's painted. And you can put as much aftermarket into a kit as you like, but if you don't build it properly and you don't paint it properly, it doesn't make any difference. It'll still look rubbish. I'm not saying rubbish, but you're not going to build a model to its full potential unless you build it properly and paint it properly. And that's more important than buying aftermarket trinkets for it. So there we go with this. That's my thoughts on this Mosquito. And I'm taking the leap and starting it. So the next video you see will be me building, probably. I'm not going to review the kit because it's boring, isn't it? What I'm talking about now is probably boring, but hey ho. It starts off on the cockpit, doesn't it? And it instantly goes into you've got the seat to build and the bulkhead and stuff like that, and it instantly goes to seat belts. Now there's one thing in models I don't like, is seat belts. I find I just don't like them. I think they're horrible things to make. The RPE ones are these, which are okay, but they're not painted PE, it's just metal. And I struggle getting metal seat belts for the paint to bond to them, so I need to look into. You can get etched primer, which I'm going to invest in, I think, and see if that works. Because what I'd like to do with the seat belts is bend them and twist them and stuff and make them look a bit fabricy. I suppose you could do all that stuff, make sure it all fits and everything, and then just paint them and hope the paint doesn't come off. But that's the only bit I don't like. I don't like PE seat belts at all. But I certainly don't like making the fabric ones where they're in little pieces. It drives you nuts. It's like being a watchmaker. I can't cope with them anymore. They're too small. Certainly at 32nd scale. On 24th scale, I could just about cope with them, but I'm not doing them on this. So the first video you're going to see is me building, well, the extensive amount of cockpit, and there's lots of it, isn't there? I'll try and compress it a little bit, but that's where you go. You build the cockpit up to where's it go? Yeah, that's the cockpit unit, I think, and you've got the guns as well. So in fact, it doesn't finish there even, it goes on and on. Yeah, cockpit. Yeah, the cockpit's complete at that point, I think. So that's good. There's a lot of work in that. I mean, I don't know. That's going to take a long time to get to that point. So I'm not quite sure how to film this yet and how to, without it being too boring, if you like. But I'll do my best. So this is just a quick video, just to say hi again. And that's my plans for this particular kit. Other than that, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to build next. I'm open to ideas on that one. I've just built a Heinkel 111. I did it for Airfixers, the commission that was talked about earlier, and I right enjoyed it. In fact, I'm going to show you it now. So just a minute. This is the Heinkel I built. I couldn't, as regards the specification of it, I couldn't modify it at all. I couldn't change it, if you like. So this is just out of the box, if you like. And I really liked it, and it's not an easy kit to build at all. It's really difficult. Not difficult. No, most of it fits really well, but it's like a greenhouse, and it's got lots of very clear. All this is a gondola that fits in there. And all the front canopy and stuff, it fit okay, but it didn't fit how I wanted it to fit. So I ended up sanding all this area stuff. I will be releasing a video, but the video is a bit wooden, if you like, because it's not for me. It was for somebody else, for Airfix. But because I like doing this, I'm thinking of doing another one. Not one of these. I'm thinking of doing another 72nd scale bomber, I think. I'm not sure. I get open to ideas on that one. So I'm thinking of either doing. I don't want to do the Lancaster, because I did buy the Lancaster Dam Busters kit and I didn't like it at all. Maybe I had the wrong attitude towards it when I bought it. I don't know. So either a B17 or probably maybe the Liberator, because the Liberator kit does look very good. But it's not a cheap kit, is it? It's quite an expensive piece of kit. It's 50 quid, I think. I have two of these kits, by the way, because they give me two when I build them. I get two kits just in case I need parts. I have two chin-up kits as well. I've just done a chin-up, but I'm not building another chin-up. So yeah, I right enjoyed this one. It was a very rewarding build, I think. So there you go. That's a bit of a sneak preview of it, if you like. So yeah, Liberator. I might have a bash at a Liberator, but I'll mix it in between the Mosquito, and I've also got the A10 that I was building before. I might also do that, so I'm looking at maybe doing those. We'll see. So anyway, thanks for watching me or listening to me rabbit on, and probably a bit boring, isn't it, really, but that's my plans, I think, at the moment. But catch you on the next one.